Hey, this is Mel from howtoplayguitars.com and Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero, available on School right now, SKOOL.com. Today's song is a special request by someone in the group. It's a pretty simple song. The chords are pretty simple. It's going to involve a little bit of barring with the first finger. You're going to have to bar a couple strings. I am going to put all the chord diagrams and alternative fingerings and sheet music in the group at SKOOL.com, Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero. So check that out. There'll be more information about that in the description below. Stay tuned. All right, so here we go. So this song is in the key of D. Now normally we would use a D chord like this. In this song we're not going to use that exact same shape. We're not going to play this high note, the second fret, F sharp on the high E string today. We're really going to just play the notes on the D string open, second fret on the G, and third fret on the B. Now, you can still use the traditional D shape to do this, and it actually works pretty well for most of the chords to do this, leaving the first finger on the second fret of the G and the third finger on the third fret of the B. Okay? The trick, though, is going to be going to the second chord that is in the song for much of it, in the intro and in the verses. The second chord is an F sharp minor. So one option, the typical way to do it is, what I typically do is I take that first finger and I cover the G string and the B string with a little mini bar. And then I use my third finger on the fourth fret of the D string. Okay, it looks like this. So the D might be this, or this, and then F sharp minor. Okay, it's a little bit of movement there. It's not too bad. Now I traditionally like this fingering, which I already kind of showed you, with first finger on the second fret of the G string and second finger on the third fret of the B string. I prefer that fingering because then I can just literally just lift the second finger and bar across the second fret on the G and B strings and put the third finger on the D string, fourth fret. You can also use your pinky if you want to. I don't prefer that, but you certainly can if you can do that. It's a little bit of a stretch. You can certainly do it. It's even more of a stretch if you do this alternative fingering here. First finger, second fret on the G, and second finger, second fret on the B string, and put the pinky on the D string. That's for those that can't do the bar chord quite yet. So that makes it a little bit easier to transition to that. But I'm going to do the way that I typically do it. And there are some alternative fingerings already involved in the tune, the way that he does it. And I'm going to show you some of that stuff. But I'm going to show you also how I typically do it, okay? So in the meantime, let's just kick it right off with this D chord and then F sharp minor. So in order to do that really well, what I want you to do is I want you to practice just plucking the D string with your thumb and your index and middle fingers with your the G string and the B string with your index and middle fingers at the same time. Okay, so thumb and then these two. Okay, so practice that. Alright, and you can practice that just by itself with no chord and get it pretty even. Get the rhythm nice and even. And then put the chord in there. Okay? However you want to finger that D chord. And then practice switching from the D to the F sharp minor. That's the next thing. That right there might take the most of your practice, just figuring out how to switch to the F sharp. Hey there Delilah, what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty. Yes, you do. Now, normally what happens is we go to a B minor chord. Now, there's several alternate fingerings for this. You don't necessarily need all four of these notes on this chord. If you can get all four of those notes, that's great. Really, all you need is the second fret on the A string, that I'm using the first finger to get, and then the third fret on the B, which I'm using the second finger right now, and then the fourth fret on the G, which I'm using the third finger right now. Okay? And that's pretty similar to what the D shape that I was already doing. Okay, then I just leave the second finger there, bring the first finger up, put the third finger on the fourth fret of the G. So you've got that B minor, you can play that 3 times, play an A, string open, and then G. Now the G looks like this. Now traditionally you can play the bar chord like this, that's fine. But what I'm doing is from this B minor, this alternate finger that I just gave you, I'm just bringing this first finger from the B string to the open A, playing that note, and then putting the first finger on the third fret of the low E, leaving the second finger on the third fret of the B and the third finger on the fourth fret of the G. doing that 2 times, and then doing an A, okay, and then I go back to B minor, and then I go to the A. Now normally what I do here is I bar it actually across the 2nd fret, and I need at least the G string and the B string. You really don't need the D string, but you can do it if you want to. Because then the other thing is that I need to do is I need to put the pinky on the 5th fret of the B string. So he does twice and then twice. Now if that's hard to do, don't worry about it. The other way you can do it is you do this. And I just plucked it with my middle finger and my ring finger. So I plucked a thumb, index, middle, alternating, and then thumb and ring finger in middle. Now you could just take these 2 fingers and just put them up to the next 2 strings as well. Okay, lots of options. That's a little bit even easier approach than trying to get that pinky to go here and still bar. For some people that's tough, but it's completely up to you how you do that. All right, got a little bit more to do. There's 2 other sections to cover. Stay tuned for more. Okay, the next section is the chorus. So we're going to go from the D chord to the, and we're going to play an A string open like we did earlier, and then we're going to go to the B minor. Now what I do is I normally just play the regular B minor bar. Now the good news is you really don't have to bar anything because you're actually not playing that high F sharp 2nd fret, just like in the D chord. That's really where the bar comes in handy. But you really you need these fingers at least. Now I said you could do it this way as well. That's fine. What you're going to do though is you're going to play that 3 times, and then you're going to put it in a C sharp with the pinky on the 4th fret of the A string. That might be tricky, which is why I prefer this. For me, that's a little bit easier. There's another way to do it. You can do the B minor like this, like a B minor 7, and grab it here as well. If you have to, you can go from here and then just release everything and bring the 3rd finger here to the 4th fret on the A string, that C sharp, and not even worry about anything else there. And then just go to the D, A, B minor, C sharp on B4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just repeats. Okay? All right, stay tuned for the next section. We're almost there. All right, this last section is the bridge. This is a pretty easy section for the most part. It does involve a little bit more of those bass notes like we were just doing, where you're playing bass notes on those strings, the D string and the A string. We're going to play the G. Here's another way to play the G that I often use as well. And so even when I was doing, like if I did the B minor 7, I would do it like this. Okay? And then I would just do this, like in the previous section. So now I'm going to actually start with this G here for the bridge, and then the A, however you want to do that. And then the D, A, and then B minor, A, G, A chord, D, C sharp, B minor, A, G, A, B minor for 2 measures, A, and then this one. Or you can do, again, you can do this one with an open E instead of, because it's the same note. 5th fret on the B is the same as the open E. So either one, it works. And that's the bridge, and then you just go back to the verse and just finish the song. So pretty simple. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. This is Mel from howtoplayguitars with an S.com, and Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero, available right now on School, SKOOL.com. Like I said, there's going to be resources in the group for this, chord charts, tabs, sheet music, the chords, everything's going to be in the group. Come check it out. School.com, Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero. I'll see you there. Bye for now.